Hey guys, hope everyone's doing really well today or tonight. I want to make a quick video on why you should start implementing mini wins, quote unquote, in your life, and I guess kind of things that I've done in terms of mini wins that you guys might be able to take some inspiration from, or grab some ideas from, and I guess why they're so important. So yeah, let's just get into it. Okay, so why mini wins? So I guess the definition of a mini win, in my opinion, is kind of just very small, achievable tasks or actions that can give get a quick sense of progress in your life. It could be as simple as literally like this sounds dumb, but literally grabbing coffee in the morning, right? It could be just what's your morning to dos. It might be wake up, brush your teeth, grab coffee, have a shower, get out of the house. Something as little as this could be kind of, I guess, a tick on your internal checklist of things that need to be done. So little things like this, even though you technically, it's kind of just required to function, or I guess required to get your morning started. Just kind of having it almost as like a little checklist achievement item um, could mean in theory that you've already, I guess, checked off four things, 3 or 4 things off your checklist as you've left your house. So pretty, I guess, different way of looking at things, whereas most people wouldn't care. But little things like this would I guess put you in a good mindset for the day going forward. Whereas if you just look at it as nothing, then it doesn't really make a difference. Now it's not about being perfect, but progressing in the right direction of your goals. So taking it to a bigger picture, it could mean something like recording a quick video, 5 or 10 minutes for your YouTube channel. Maybe even once a week. I was going to say every day, but even once a week. Something very, very small. It's not going to be perfect, but it progresses you in the right direction. It skyrockets your progress by actually progressing things and making you feel great. So again, back to the coffee example, it kind of makes you feel like you've achieved something for the day, even though you really haven't. But it puts you in the right mindset. And what that does is actually, it almost has a compounding effect that pushes you more and more forward. Where if you've already achieved say 4 things in the morning, once you actually get to work, and you might have the previous night already listed out what you want to achieve for today, but it could be replied to a few emails. Get those done quickly, and then again, you check it off your list, and it makes you feel really good. And you're actually, and the reality is, you are progressing things, whether they're small and super minor and they don't mean much. Doesn't matter. You're progressing things. Some examples here. I've said, making your bed, replying to an email, cleaning up your computer, lots of things. It could be anything, but ultimately, these 1% things each day will add up to something great over the long run. Even taking an extra 500 steps a day and progressing that another 500 each month. If you're going from not really walking too much to, and at the end of the year, in 12 months' time, you're doing an extra 6,000 steps a day. I mean, it's going to have a massive difference in your life. Lots of different ways you can go about it, whether it be, forcing 5 to 10 minutes of getting out of the office or getting out of the job site each day to walk around. Maybe it's taking a phone call only standing up, where you're kind of walking around. A million different ways to do it. Bigger projects like buying a house can be broken into 10 pieces, each a mini win. Break it up as much as you want. Do 50 pieces, do 10 pieces, do 5 pieces. Doesn't really matter. It's whatever feels achievable to you, and whatever you feel like is realistic, right? Saying that you're going to go from zero to $100 million in property isn't very realistic, unless you're going to have multiple generations worth of people to help you out with that. But saying, hey, each year I'm going to get say $500,000 worth of property. I'm going to structure things a certain way. I'm going to really grow my income. Here's my plan for my income. Here's my plan for speaking to experts. Here's my plan for leveraging different ways of attaining finance. Maybe you've exhausted your first, second, and third tier lenders. Maybe you go to private lending. Lots of different ways to do it, but these all become mini things. It might start with make a phone call to your broker, or maybe stop buying coffees each day and make them at home. Instead of going to Starbucks, go to 7-Eleven and get freshly ground coffee for $2 or $3. I think the small ones are actually $1, but little things like that are mini wins. Even saving money, to me, getting this over a Starbucks is a mini win. Okay, I'm going to spitfire some examples of my personal mini wins that I can think of recently. Answering an email that's tricky to answer or requires some thinking and consideration prior. Sometimes you're stuck on something and you're just not sure how to address it. It might mean talking to your boss or talking to a colleague, maybe using ChatGPT or AI to bounce some ideas around. But once you've answered that email, it might seem simple and it might come right back to you with something else to action. Doesn't matter. You've gone through what was initially a roadblock for you or something tricky, and you've progressed that. Saying no to food that will put me over my ideal calorie intake or swapping something out. Again, something that is simple, but in spare of the moment, it might not seem like a lot, but choosing to say have a ham and cheese toasty instead of a ham and cheese croissant, where the croissant has an extra 200 calories, you're going to feel the same for the most part, but that 200 calories worth of saving each day over and over and over for weeks, months, years, it definitely adds up. Little things like that. Swapping, sugar beverages for non-sugar beverages, a massive difference. Going from, a dirty chai or latte to black coffee or even a flat white with skim milk. These little things are wins. Make sure you recognize those wins and compound them, make them go further because they'll ultimately shape who you will be. It sounds crazy, I know, but that's just how it is. If you're eating a bag of chips every day, in a year's time, and sorry, you stop running, you stop working out, you do all these things. In a year's time, you're going to be probably quite obese and overweight. Whereas if you flip it around, you start drinking water instead of soft drinks, you start drinking black coffee, you move each day, you might start taking on marathons, you're going to be in a much different position, even though each day they seem like minor choices, they add up over time. Okay. If I'm running, being able to cut 1 minute off a 5 kilometer run is a great achievement to celebrate. Absolutely. Celebrate even the little things. And by celebrate, I don't mean buy yourself a Ferrari or Lamborghini. Pat yourself on the back and recognize that, hey, I have progressed in a positive direction today. Even getting out of bed early and getting to work 30 minutes early is a big win for the day. I'd say that this is massive for even me. It's really hard for me to get out of bed in the morning. And some days I'm feeling really motivated and other times I'm not, but I need to get in early. So I'll force this and the day is much better in my opinion. Okay, now I've spoken about mini wins a million times, but how can we turn these into massive wins? Okay. These small wins each day or week compound into real goals. Just reverse the big goal into mini goals. Again, like I said, if you're looking at purchasing one property, break it down into 10 different steps. Okay. You might start with contacting a mortgage broker. It might be starting a side hustle, maybe Ubering. It could be doing just research on, realestate.com, finding anything you can do to progress you in the right direction. Okay. And taking action. That's the key thing. These mini wins are mini pieces of action. Okay. This will compound to something good. It's not thinking, it's not mini thinking, it's mini wins from action. Okay. Mentally, you'll be able to achieve more knowing that you have a track record of winning each day. If you see yourself as someone who always wins, through many wins, as you leave the door each morning, you've already got 5 wins under your belt. You're going to have so much confidence in yourself that really a lot of these things that people are worried about achieving, you can do. You have full confidence in yourself because you achieve every single day. Okay. For you, it might be investing $5 a day for a year or swapping sugar soda to zero sugar. $5 a day won't kill the bank for most people. You could probably ask someone off the street for $5 and they'd probably give it to you if you ask nice enough. It's not a hard thing to do, but it's these little things that over time, getting you in the right mindset, getting you progressing in the right direction will make massive success. Look, I'm not talking about doing $5 a day for the rest of your life. It will start off as $5 a day and it'll get so easy and you'll feel so good that that $5 will go to 50. And then as your income increases, it'll go to 100. And before you know it, you're 60 or 70, you retire and you notice your retirement account has $10 million plus in there, and you're just like, huh, all these little things added to that. Okay. That's where you want to be going. Last point here, make it easy. Mini wins aren't supposed to be difficult. Use them as a platform to achieve more. Okay. I mean, say no more. that's the last bit I think that you guys will need to hear from me. I think the most important thing now is go out and actually achieve those mini wins, um, leverage off them to do more, and yeah, create massive success. We're not here for long, so make the most of it while we can, and yeah, do some cool things. Hopefully, you guys have found some value in this video. If you have any questions, let me know down below. But otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.